Okay, folks, we'll be bringing you LoZ versus Hasu in just a few short moments. So kicking it off right now. LoZ in the purple trunks. He is playing Terran right here on the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, the one and only Hasu. He is in the yellow trunks and he is playing Protoss.
LoZ definitely didn't have his pasta for lunch because he has no energy in this game, and, well, he's going to have some energy packs, or well, you can even give LoZ a stim pack. Why don't we just go and be like,
pasta is, as far as I'm aware, pasta is a slow-burning carb, so it probably wouldn't have kicked in until a little bit later anyway.
Yeah, what time's it now? 20 to 4.
I don't know, you might be right. You might be
starting to kick in now. Maybe it will kick in for the second game as we start it on Shakuras Plateau.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we managed to dodge the pasta, really, considering that we've been eating an awful lot of that.
Yeah.
No big surprises there, honestly. Now, Hasu is 1-0 up in this series, and honestly, I wouldn't call it a stomp, but it was controlling his opponent the entire time and was never under any real threat. Yeah. Even that drop was met by a Dark Templar and a warp in of Zealots, and a couple of pylons down does not a successful attack make.
Yeah, it was more like a slow murder, I think you could say.
He took his time.
It wasn't a headshot. It was a very slow, painful death.
Dexter-style stuff.
Dexter-style.
He tied him down. He told him exactly what he'd been doing wrong. He showed him pictures of murdered family there.
That's so funny. He showed him pictures of bunkers. Like, you didn't do this. You're terrible.
These are what you didn't build.
And this is why I'm going to kill you.
Yes, exactly. He's screaming there, begging for his life. It doesn't happen. I don't think we're being unfair on LoZ there. It was at one-sided. That is to be expected. Hasu is one of the best Protoss in Europe right now.
Yeah, definitely. And even that, not only is he the best Protoss, he's, had so much experience in playing in these tournaments. Has competed at the highest level for a long time in StarCraft 2. And not only that, he competed in, the highest level within Warcraft 3 too. So he's been around for a long time. And personally, for all I know, LoZ could have been a 10-year professional in some game I've never heard of before and had a ton of experience. But he's not had the StarCraft 2 experience, and StarCraft 2 experience is a lot different than any other game.
Yes, it is. No question about that. LoZ with a single Marine coming out right now. He does have a single Refinery. Nothing particularly crazy going on. Looks to deny the scout, but that's not going to happen. Hasu retreats immediately. Doesn't actually scout anything. That's odd. I mean, he could have done that. He would have probably lost the probe in the process, though. Obviously, not thinking that it was worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, if he tried to go in there, he probably would have caught the barracks, but not caught the refinery. So he would have missed the key information that he wanted again. So it's rather, just save it, check these on Auger Towers, move around. And we are going to see a factory being added on. No second, are we just looking at the timing of it? No second refinery. So actually, he does put it down, but a little bit slow.
Yep.
A little bit slow, but that's fine. You can be a little bit slow.
Yeah, you can. Fine. You're playing Terran. You don't need high APM.
No.
No. So says the Zerg player.
Nope.
He likes to keep you superior, although LoZ is actually at about 300 APM right now, and Hasu's at more like 36. So I think Hasu actually couldn't be more horizontal if he tried. He's probably laying back in his chair right now.
Yeah, he's probably playing on his iPhone.
Angry Birds, man. It's what you need for your APM practice. I tell you that for a fact.
We are actually seeing a very similar build in terms of the factory and the barracks with the reactor. So we will see a switch up.
Also seeing a very similar build from Hasu. Look at that. You can see it down there. It's looking interesting for him. Starport coming up right here, going for the straight 1-1-1. A Hellion coming out. We'll find out exactly what's going to be happening after that. He could add a Tech Lab on after this Hellion. It's fairly common to do that. Pump a Hellion out, then build your Tech Lab and do your swap. And that's exactly what's happening. There you go.
Yeah, the timing is a little bit off, unfortunately, for LoZ. So the Starport will finish a little bit in head. But that's the thing, though. He's made multiple mistakes that have all been 1 second mistakes, but if you put them all together, we're looking at maybe 5 seconds slower than usual.
5 seconds matters. In a level like this, against a player like this, that kind of thing does matter an awful lot.
And we are seeing actually 2-gate Robo, which is switching up into expansion. So pretty solid build from Hasu, safe against any early aggression, still having a good economy mid-game with this early Nexus. And we're going to see quite an aggressive one-base play by LoZ. And that's actually what I heard, not from Cloud himself, but players who watched the game, is that LoZ actually was quite good at one-base execution builds, where he'd build up this timing attack and then go in straight for the kill, and had quite decent unit control. And he he couldn't really show that off previous game, as he was kind of stuck in his base.
No, not at all. We will find out exactly what's going to happen as the first Banshee will be popping out, having a look around and seeing what he can see what kind of damage he could do. The back of the base is quite vulnerable right now for Hasu.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have this Observer out. I don't know if it'll come out in time or which direction it will be going. It looks like it, I mean, it's just waypointed to the rest of the army. That's kind of standard, but I suppose he will actually send it to the right-hand side eventually.
LoZ is mixing things up quite interestingly right here. He's got a Siege Tech, he's got a Banshee, he's got a Hellion, he's got some Marines. He's got a good variety pack. He's got good offensive and defensive capabilities right now, so he could start to harass Hazuobs quite heavily in the base right here, and that's what he's looking for. Observer passes it, he knows what's coming. Hazuobs doesn't actually have anything to respond to it with yet. He's going to lose at least a couple of probes as the Stalker moves in to start to bring the fire down. Banshee with 2 kills right now. Will it evacuate? He takes a 3rd and then leaves immediately. A nice little start.
Yeah, and he's forced Hazuobs to actually bring back the main Observer instead of sending it to scout because he's just kind of threatened about Cloak Banshees. And here we actually see LoZ pushing out. He's not expanding behind it. He's waypointing a lot of units towards here. And this Banshee doing a little bit of damage. Does go down, but I think it did kind of warrant its price. But at the same time, we have this force incoming with a Banshee 2, and the Banshee has a lot of DPS. And Hazuob's going to have to defend against this.
Yeah, this is going to get a little bit messy, honestly. It really, really is a good snipe off. Very good snipe off there by that Banshee. Very impressive. And Hazuob's pushed all the way back to his base, and he could get into a siege situation right here. Bear in mind that this Siege Tech does not have Siege Tech, and it's not going to be ready at least for another 40 seconds. Hazuobs wants to go in here, then he is going to be risking it a little bit. He needs to bring that Banshee down. He does have the force to crack that, certainly with the Immortal in place. Should be able to rip through those tanks. That's what he's looking for right now. LoZ caught out of position a little bit. He's going to lose a Marine out of that. Not a huge loss. LoZ is going to get forced all the way back to his base right here. Double Banshee coming in.
Oh no, this is really bad. Don't push out.
It's looking messy.
Don't push out Hazuobs.
Yeah, he's got backup, folks. He's got Banshees on the field. Not a huge number of Stalkers in there, and the Marines in the tank should be able to crack it quite easily. LoZ with a couple of SCVs as well for repair, and bunker work. Double bunker contained at the bottom of the ramp. Hazuob's going to have to snipe that off pretty damn quickly. Here comes the shelling. Siege tanks are now up and operational. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that. And that's great coverage there. Extremely good. LoZ does not want to lose that aircraft, though. He will lose that visibility. He loses it anyway, and now forced to push up the ramp with those Marines to keep on the pressure with the tanks.
And this reminds me very much of how Nama played against Mana in the DreamHack Winter. Very aggressive style like this, bunkers everywhere, but actually really nice force. I don't think it's worth engaging though, as these siege tanks are doing a lot of damage.
And in the bunkers, nice play by LoZ actually. He's really started to get confident. I'm liking this build an awful lot, and he's really got the feel of his opponent after the last game, which was extremely one-sided. Now applying the pressure to Hazuobs.
Yeah, and Hazuob's actually in a lot of trouble with this. Doesn't have, you know, a good amount of probes, actually. And now we actually have LoZ expanding behind this. He's got not to lose that Immortal, though. That is very key.
It's going down. It's going down. A Banshee chews through it, along with a little bit of Marine support. More shelling coming in. Hazuobs is really stuck right here.
Yeah, and he needs to be very patient. Actually, trying to engage to pick off that tank, for example, is something you don't want to do. And the way that we saw Mana play in DreamHack Winter is that he was very, very patient, waited a long time, even until the Nexus was on its last few legs, and then pushed out with a huge army. And that's what we need to see from Hazuobs here, otherwise it's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, yeah, another push, and straight into shelling from the tank. That Banshee refuses to die. It's just not going to happen right now. More pressure coming in, although taking a mortal fire from the ground. Not an ideal situation. He can't really go in there, and LoZ actually, in my opinion, needs to be a bit patient as well, and not necessarily overextend.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he keeps reinforcing over and over, it's going to be hard, because Hazuobs has to break this eventually. So if you keep reinforcing and keep having a good amount of siege tanks that go way, way back, even adding more bunkers, because it's the new Crucible Tower, there is no back path that you can leave. This is the only exit for Hazuobs.
I'd be very concerned because there are 2 Banshees now in the air. Not an awful lot of anti-air fire. We're looking at under 50% HP on that Nexus right now. A Banshee taken out, however. Looks like Hasu is going for the push. He might be able to take it out. He takes 1 tank. He's forced away again, though.
Why didn't you wait for your 2 Immortals that were there? You should have waited.
That was critical. That was not a good thing at all. He might be able to break this anyway. Takes 1 tank. Immortals at the front. He took unnecessary losses right there. Banshee down. First Immortal annihilated. Bunker still holding up strong, and a single siege tank back there. Huge losses for Hazuobs again. And
it actually looks like LoZ might be, thinking about... No, he's actually, I was going to say, he might be thinking about retreating, but no, he's just going to reposition his tanks. And Hazuobs really doesn't have that much, but he's slowly trying to push his way through. The thing I'm worried about is that this, the Nexus... this command center has been put down, and he can start mining from there. But I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. We're going to have to see.
There's a stream of units and reinforcements coming across the map right here for LoZ, and LoZ is now in a commanding position. We are seeing no real tech right now from Hasu, perhaps because he just can't. He's throwing so much money at his army supply to repulse these attacks over and over and over again. It's devastating. LoZ's siege tanks are taking such a massive toll. It's unbelievable. Immortals at the front right now this time. This is looking like a good push. He might be able to break this contain. Bunker going down. Looking for the second one. Hasu losing a large number of units in the meantime, but he's going to break it. Yep, that's absolutely confirmed. He is through, finally, and now should be able to start getting some momentum back.
Wow, super awesome breakthrough there. Really nice play by Hasu, showing us why he is one of the best Protoss players in the world. And he's even going to launch a counterattack. There's not that many units for LoZ here, but I'm not sure if the counterattack is the best way. And we're going to have to find out if he can do some more damage here. The siege tank is going to go up, but more reinforcements coming from this pylon here.
The pylon finally comes into play, and we've been waiting to see what actually he would be doing with that, but it looks like he's not going to be able to get the push as of yet. I don't really blame him. There's one siege tank right there. We're looking for a second as well. I think maybe LoZ could have positioned that a little bit better. It's a little bit too close to the front for my liking.
And Hasu is actually comfortable with this. He's got an observer, sees everything that's up there, is continuing to warp in units. And he's doing really good about this. He's not even thinking about exporting again. He's actually just going to get enough zealots in here so they can go in there and go straight into the middle of the army. And here he goes. This is the moment Hasu been waiting for.
Here comes the charge, folks, right into the more of those cannons. Looking to take out one already. One down, looks for the second. And yet LoZ is not going to be able to hold this by the looks of it. Pulling SCVs off the minimal line. He has no other choice. What can he do? What can he do? Not an awful lot. Not an awful lot. He's able to push him away, but only just. Hasu could have actually continued to go in there.
Yeah, I would have actually thought he would have, but, you know, pulling back safe just in case reinforcements from LoZ do come in and push him out. So he's just going to wait for another round of units. At the same time, he is probing back up in his back. He's getting a lot of units here, and he's definitely going to be looking to push out again pretty soon.
Yep, and that's going to be right about... not now. Okay. Hasu.
Zealots at the front first.
Go attack him. Go attack him. Yeah, Zealots at the front. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make some pilots. LoZ off the line once again because that's all he really can do. Is Hasu is being extremely gun shy right here.
There is a lot of SCVs there, though. I mean, they could tank a long time, and even could fall into the same kind of situation we saw. You know, Cloud do, you know, overextending himself to do the economic damage before, and then, you know, leaving himself open for a huge counterattack. And Hasu is fine with that. He's just going to pull back. Did a little bit of pressure, forcing SCVs to be pulled off. The only thing Hasu doesn't know is that a third command center has been made in the bottom right position of the map.
Oh yes, it's been working over there for quite some time. He's now repositioning that. Hasu looking to make sure that he can perhaps secure a third base as well. We do see the Twilight Council coming up right here for Hasu. Forge on the way as well, and here comes the third base for Hasu. He's a little bit behind. In fact, even with the amount of SCVs lost, he's actually still behind LoZ in terms of worker count.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been stuck on two base, trying to kill LoZ on two base, so it was then kind of forced to pull out and get a third. And now, actually, LoZ deciding this is the time. This is the time to
It kind of is. It kind of is. He has a significant army supply advantage. I don't know about the state of his upgrades. Non-existent would be the answer to that. Hasn't actually got Marine Shield yet. That's going to be problematic. Although, that said, Hasu has been forced not to upgrade because of the amount of money he's had to throw at his army. So he's only just started level 1 attack.
And Zealot Speed's great choice instead of Blink against this army composition. Against a lot of Marauders, against a lot of tanks. You just want to get in there straight away and kind of neglect the damage that, the range attack from the tanks, and obviously the Marauder hits too, so you can get in there straight away and do a lot of damage. And that's going to be great because you're going to be able to surround the Terran army. You're going to have the tanks doing damage to your Zealots, which because of the splash are going to do damage to LoZ's own units. And now LoZ decides to push out with this cute little force here, and Hasu does see everything. He does have the Observer and has a lot of Zealots. Actually, the amount of 15 Zealots in total, that's a lot.
Army supply is still way in favor of LoZ, however, so this could be a good push, and it looks like he's going to go straight for it. He sees the transferring drones. That is critical. Right now, the Zealots moving out. They will have charge speed in just a few short moments' time. Will it be quick enough, however? Here comes the shelling. No charge speed yet. That was good timing right there by LoZ. However, he is boxed in. He's going to have to fight this one. He doesn't have a choice. Right now, he's able to do horrendous damage to Hasu right here. Shelling comes in. Hasu driven back again. There's the stim. There's the follow-up. Yet more Stalker damage being inflicted. Oh my god, this is brutal.
I can't believe he actually went in there. He should have waited until Zealot Speed finished, until +1 finished, And his army was gone before both were finished.
A critical timing mistake, and LoZ taking full advantage of that right here. Hazuob's going to lose that second base by the looks of it. He really doesn't have anything to repulse this. 2 Stalkers, 2 Observers. I don't know, maybe he could dance them in front of them, try and distract them for a little bit. They are very shiny. It's not going to happen, though, I'm afraid. I'd also be very worried about that third base. Very vulnerable. There's even a Marauder, a couple of Marauders doing horrendous damage to that mineral line. The economy of Hazuob's just got shot to pieces.
And yeah, this is now LoZ's game for sure. He's going to take this one, and unfortunately for Hasu, he's going to have to go into a third game.
GG, ladies and gentlemen. Well played by LoZ. Absolutely exceptional stuff. Coming back from a one-sided match at the start. Wonderful stuff.